how that matches up with your strengths heading into game one.
Yeah, I was able to watch last night's game, so that was fun. Yeah, they feed off each other. It's a very energetic lineup. They're really good. Yeah, like you said, they put the ball in play. So you make them swing at your pitches. You figure out what they're good at, what they're not good at, and I'll just tell you how to attack them. I can't say like too much because they're gonna watch this, or you would intend that they would. But yeah, I mean it's a really good lineup. I'm not falling for the average Joes that they're not. I never once thought. I mean, they got the best record in the NL. They're a really good team.
Some more for Blake. Go to Paul, second row.
Blake, along those lines, their lineup's full of guys who, once they're on base, like to run and can move. How much does that change what you're doing on the mound, and how much extra effort do you have to put into keeping them close for your catchers?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is, keep them off the bases. If they are on the bases, it just depends which runner's on base. No matter what, it'll change the way, you view them, the leg lift to home, the time, the looks, disrupting that. Like I've studied them. I understand who's running, who's not running, counts, all that. So if we get to that point, then yeah, I'll be ready for it and well aware of it.
Let's go up to Jack, far right, second row from the top.
Blake, obviously you would have liked to be healthy all year, but like to have 3 of the 4 guys in your rotation who didn't have a ton of innings in the regular season, like do you think that's been a benefit as you guys have gotten into October here, which is kind of how fresh you are?
Yeah, I mean, I think on the fresh part, yeah, for sure. I think we were able to throw enough innings to where, we can learn from mistakes and get a lot better from that as well. So I really like where the starting staff's at. I mean, Yoshi was the only guy that really, posted the whole year. But for everybody else to be healthy, feeling good, confident with the amount of innings they had on the season to be able to pitch in the postseason, I really like where we're at.
And then coming into this postseason, you talked about wanting to get deeper into playoff games. What has allowed you to do that in these first couple starts that you've had?
Yeah, I think it's just mindset. As you get older, you learn a lot more. You understand pitching. You understand how important belief is, and yeah, you just get better just with age and understanding the game and situations and what pressure really is, and how awesome these moments are. So I think age has made me a lot better.
Come down to the second row in the middle. Sonia.
Hey, Blake, I know you were on the IL when these teams had their season series, but how would you say that the Dodgers have changed in those months since? Yeah,
I mean, we haven't beat them, so that's good motivation if you need it. But no, I just think we're playing good team baseball. We're all in it. The chemistry between us is really strong, and the want to win every game is strong as well. And I've been on postseason teams where it's been different, but energy-wise, chemistry-wise, is probably the best that I've been a part of. So I'm really excited for what we can do. And, yeah.
Kirsten?
Blake, just to piggyback off of that, I know you kind of talked game plan and obviously not wanting to go into specifics, but considering that you were hurt when the team did play here, is there any information that you can kind of take from talking to other guys who did face them? I know you're someone who does just kind of like to have a lot of information going into your starts. Is that conversations that you've either had with some of your other teammates, guys in the rotation, or just kind of how did you go about taking in some of this information?
Yeah, I didn't ask anybody. I watched games, footage. I watched yesterday's game. Like, the playoff games are going to give you the best idea of who they are, how they handle the pressure, or how they play on the road, how they play at home, what's different. So by watching that, it just gave me a lot of insight on, each hitter, what they can do, what I think I can get away with, where I can attack. So yeah, I mean, just like the biggest thing is watching the game. Like, if you watch the game, you watch players at bats, how they handle, failure, success. it really helps you understand the player. And then when it's the one-on-one matchup in the box and I'm on the mound, that's where, you understand, like, was I right, was I wrong, and you feel the at-bat out and learn how to pitch.
All the way up in the right-hand corner, Bill.
Thanks. Blake, I'm sure you know from playing in San Diego and San Francisco how people there feel about the Dodgers. But I wonder if you look, in Seattle where you grew up, never been to a World Series, these guys never been to win one. You think people around the country outside Los Angeles are like, yeah, well, it's okay, we'd like a fresh face? Or you think they're rooting for you guys?
I don't know. I think they'd root for us. I think they'd root. I mean, that's a wide question. I don't know. I think, yeah, maybe we just won one, as the Dodgers did, not me. But, yeah, I don't know. I know being from Seattle, how important the World Series is there, and the fans, how excited they are, and how crazy the city was in Seattle after they beat Detroit. So I was well aware of that. But, yeah, I haven't looked into that too much, but I'm sure whoever wins the World Series, they'll be happy.
Miguel, I know you guys have had the last 2 days off, able to recover from the NLDS. Dave Roberts was talking about just how last night during practice, you guys were watching the matchup between the Cubs and the Brewers. You all really prioritized just being together last year in those moments, preparing for each round. How were these last 2 days just kind of valuable for you all as a team to reset now for this series?
Yeah, something that we learned last year was the power of being together and kind of like making these the most important days and weeks of our year. We all know that we play a really long regular season where you're gonna go through up and downs or whatever the case may be. But these couple weeks are kind of like for the boys, and we kind of like taking that into the point where everything that we do these last couple of weeks of the year is among ourselves and kind of like trying to get any kind of edge that we can get from being together, being around each other, like talking about the game, talking about situations that might be happen in the game, going over stuff as the other team is kind of like approaching us, or how did we play these 6 games against the Brewers or the Cubs. Because we play against them in the regular season and we gather information. And I feel like, yesterday workout, we were there just like preparing, having fun and kind of like hanging around. But at the same time, we kind of talking among each other about the game and what we're going to expect about these guys. And we didn't know who we were going to face at that time, but I feel like that's kind of like the point of like being together every single day. We're not taking days off. That's why we're here today. We just landed. And we make a decision that we're going to sacrifice a lot of our time outside the field with the families, and we're just going to be here 100% of our time to try to do something that is really special. And I think we all deserve it, and the organization and the city, and we're going to go for it.
Let's go to Bill on the far right in the third row.
Yeah, Miggy, what do you remember about the series against the Brewers where they swept you guys? And how different are the Dodgers now than the Dodgers of July?
Yeah, the difference is that our guys are healthy, and we have everybody knows our pitching staff has been carrying us for the last 2 months of the year, and they've been throwing the ball really well. They're starting pitching, and our team got healthier. And I remember when we came here, we didn't have Kike, we didn't have Blake, we didn't have a couple of the guys, and we were kind of like playing a little short on the bench and the back end of the bullpen and the starting pitching. And I feel like right now we're in a really good place to kind of go head to head with the best of the National League. They show up the whole league and the world that they were the best team during the regular season, and they deserve it. And we didn't play good against them in the regular season, but we have another chance. Here we are in the last 2 team standings in the National League, and we're looking forward for this challenge.
Let's go to Fabian, second row.
Yeah, Miggy, how do you prepare to play a team with the Brewers that kind of puts pressure on the opponent so frequently?
Yeah, they're a team. They're aggressive. They're gonna run. They bunt. They do the little things. They don't strike out much. They put the ball in play, and it's I mean, it's not a secret. You got to be ready for every pitch, every out, every opportunity. I feel like our preparation wouldn't change. We are who we are as a team. We just know that like beforehand we're gonna have our meetings and our conversations, and we're gonna be ready to go. But we all understand what kind of team they have over there, and it's they play out of the energy of the game, the kind of the momentum. They take charge of that, and they have pretty good pitching in the back end of the bullpen. So we're gonna be ready for it, and I think like I said, we gathered a lot of information during the regular season.
Bob in the front.
Miguel, when you and Christian Yelich were together in Miami, did you envision him having this kind of career?
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. I think he's a captain himself over there. I know not many people talk about like him being a captain or something like that. He's just like an old veteran player that kind of helps everybody to kind of run the clubhouse and the team. And I know because I know Jackson Churio really close. We're from Venezuela. We're with the same agency, and I know how highly he speaks about Yelich. And I can say the same thing when we play together in Miami. He's not a guy who gonna talk a lot, but he's gonna show you through preparation and work ethic. And I'm happy for him because he's getting the opportunity to be in this stage. And he always showed me that he was kind of like a guy that you can follow because he's a great leader.
Miguel, we're going to go up to the top left.
Por acá, Miguel. ¿Por qué se les ha complicado tanto enfrentar al equipo de Milwaukee y qué han aprendido de esas derrotas?
Creo que estamos en un momento diferente, lo acabo de decir también, creo que no estábamos completos en ese momento. Creo que una de las cosas que nos faltaba era que la salud de los jugadores estuviese ahí para poder enfrentarnos de la mejor manera a ellos en ese momento donde nos enfrentamos. Y obviamente estamos en una mejor posición ahora mismo para poder enfrentar esta serie. Y creo que lo que pasó en la temporada regular, perdimos unos juegos, pero también ganamos bastante experiencia con respecto al equipo de ellos y cómo ellos juegan el béisbol. Y creo que vamos a estar listos para lo que venga. Sabemos que no va a ser fácil porque demostraron que fueron el mejor equipo de la Liga Nacional durante la temporada regular, tuvieron el mejor récord y tenemos que venir con todo lo que tengamos que hacer.
We have another in Spanish in the
¿Qué
far
tal,
right
Miguel?
front.
Un par de preguntas. ¿Qué diferencias o similitudes? Evidentemente cada temporada es diferente, pero puedes rescatar con respecto a la campaña pasada en general y sobre todo la postemporada. Y la segunda, también entendemos que todavía falta, pero ya se está acercando quizás el momento y te pregunto si hay cierta presión en ser el primer equipo en 24 años en quizás ganar un back-to-back en la Serie Mundial.
No, creo que una de las cosas de las similitudes que hemos tenido es la manera que estamos conectados en esta parte de la temporada. Sabemos que las temporadas son muy largas y pasan muchas cosas y hay altos y bajos durante la temporada, pero creo que ahora mismo, comparado al año pasado, es prácticamente la misma química que tenemos entre los jugadores, poniendo el esfuerzo para dejar muchas cosas a un lado que no es que no son importantes, sino que le estamos dando mucho más importancia a esta oportunidad que tenemos de repetir, y creo que esa es la similitud. Y obviamente es algo difícil porque todo el mundo quiere la corona y quieren tener lo que nosotros tenemos, y hemos estado siendo seguidos durante todo el año. No fue fácil ganar juegos de pelota en la temporada regular porque no importa quién te enfrentabas, siempre te daban lo mejor. Y estamos en esta instancia y tenemos que ganar 8 juegos más y sabemos que no será fácil.
Dave, obviously you guys saw this team in the regular season. Just from what you saw from them in the NLDS, how different are the Brewers today? And also how different are the Dodgers as you guys prepare for this now NLCS?
Yeah, I think that they're similar to what we saw earlier this year in the sense of think they're playing really good baseball. Towards the end of the year, they kind of scuffled a little bit, but, they're back to playing, the way they play. I think we're in a much better spot, just as far as on the health side, on the position player side, on the pitching side, and we're playing better. So, it should be a great series.
We'll stay in the second row towards the right, Fabian, and then Sonia.
Yeah, Dave, what went into going with Blake for game 1, and is Shohei going to start game 2?
Yama's going to start game 2. So it's going to be Blake, and just those are the guys that could potentially pitch on regular rest.
And what went into sort of is Shohei going to pitch more towards the middle of the series then, or what's
He'll
the
pitch
sort
at
of
some
plan?
point, yeah, but we just don't know which day. But yeah, he's going to pitch at some point, yep.
Then to Sonia.
Dave, with the way that Will's feeling now, do you still see a need to carry 3 catchers, or is that maybe somewhere where you can remove a position player, add a pitcher?
Great question, and I had a couple conversations to have shortly. Yeah, but that's a good thought.
Is the idea of pitching Shohei in front of an off day still something that the team will want to do this series, or does that not matter as much?
Not as important. I think that just kind of appreciating having 4 starters in a potential 7-game series and who can pitch potentially twice, and that's kind of the impetus versus Shohei, having that day off after a game,
Let's go to Jesse down in front.
Hey, Doc. I assume you watched last night or just the Brewers in general lately. The Padres get a lot of pub for their bullpen and the velocity. I mean, seeing, especially when Mizorowski comes out of the pen and Ashby and these guys throwing 100, what do you think about how they've developed the velocity and back end here in Milwaukee?
They've done a great job with drafting, scouting, player development, roster construction. They do a fantastic job. And then you take Murph and his staff; they've dominated it. The bullpen, they get you, with velocity from the right side, the left side. They've got balls that, sinkers, heavy sinkers. So they've got kind of all the different kind of mixes, and they're very talented, and they're not afraid to run those guys out there. So we got our work cut out. But as far as organization-wise, they've done a fantastic job.
Go to Paul in the second row on the end.
Dave, going back to Will Smith for a minute, the Brewers, they like to run a lot. Obviously, when Will's healthy, he's as good as anyone at slowing down the running game. I know there's other stuff that goes into it, but how confident are you in your team's ability to slow down the Brewers a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? I think that feel good. We're definitely mindful of those guys being aggressive on the bases. We like our guy back there, the catch and throw. But a lot of it is, the pitcher's got to, vary looks and hold, and we got to be mindful. But that's certainly something that we know, they're very opportunistic on the bases for sure.
Katie?
Dave, when you look at the Brewers high, it's clear you and others, they're a very athletic team. They're relentless. They don't make a lot of mistakes. When you think about how you combat their style of play, what do you need to do to execute that?
I think the main thing, which obviously you've got to play to put yourself in this position, is get a lead. When you have a lead, their aggression is more tempered. And when the wind's at their back, they're very aggressive. And so I think the thing is that if you can get a lead, put a little bit of pressure on them. They're a little bit more conservative. But if not, Murph's going to be aggressive, and the hit and runs, the first to thirds, the stolen bases, and all that kind of stuff.
Stay in that second row, Anthony.
Maybe a little similar to what you were just saying about Mizorowski and those guys, but what is having Roki, as effective as he's been for you, done for you in your management of your bullpen? And in a perfect world, do you like him in that 1-inning thing, or more of, what we saw in his last appearance?
Perfect world 1 inning, because there's a cost to 2 innings, or certainly 3 innings as far as on the backside of that, right? But it certainly, helped stabilize the pen with leverage. Obviously, our guys have been going through it, but I do think that in the last week, our guys, we've seen some good things out of the guys in the pen, but certainly Roki's been a big part of it.
John, down in front.
Yeah, it's been suggested in a few places that Blake was slow played for just these kind of occasions. Is it fair to say that you guys used him cautiously in the regular season?
I think that's fair. Could he have probably pitched earlier? Possibly. But when you're talking about kind of the arm, the term of the contract, the shorter term, the season, making sure that he is raring to go for the postseason, through the postseason. So that was certainly part of the math, and that's why guys like what Clayton did and Emmett Sheehan and other guys did throughout the season to kind of get us to this point, to now be able to turn guys like Tyler loose and Blake Snell loose as well. Yeah.
Let's go to Bill, far right, third row.
Yeah, Dave, did Shohei's slump figure into the pitching choice at all? Taking pitching off of his plate for a couple days, let him recalibrate, to use your word, on hitting?
No, not at all. I think it was, just kind of, Shohei's going to pitch one game this season or this series. So, it's one game, and then you have two other guys that potentially can pitch on regular rest. And so how do you get, sort of your best pitchers the most innings in a potential 7-game series? So I expect a different output from Shohei on the offensive side this series. But yeah, pushing him back was no bearing on the offensive performance.
All the way up in the far right, Bill.
Dave, credit to you guys for being back at this stage. The other 3 finalists, or Final 4, if you will, haven't been in the World Series in this century. As you guys travel around the country and get out of LA, do you sense that fans are happy to see you guys at the top, or do you think fans might want to see some fresh blood?
I think they're happy to see us. People love for fresh blood until you potentially see TV ratings, but I think they like seeing the Dodgers, whether they don't like rooting against us or rooting for us. But we got a lot of good players. I think we do things the right way as far as how we play the game. So I think they like seeing us, even here in Milwaukee.
Staying up on the right, Jack.
Dave, when you look at this a Brewers lineup that
oh yeah, Jack.
Doesn't chase a lot, makes a lot of contact. What kind of challenges does that pose, and how do you guys kind of balance maybe trying to get them to chase versus pitching them aggressively in the zone, if they put the ball in play more than maybe a lot of teams you see?
I think it's attacking them. I think a team that doesn't punch much, you try to be too fine, you're going to see yourself, 6, 8, 9 pitches and ultimately not get a strikeout. So I think the way to attack these guys is to attack them, and then sort of deal with the fallout, the result earlier in a count versus trying to nibble and chase that punch. But yeah, when you get count leverage, then obviously you're going to go for the punch out in the right time. But I think for the most part, sort of how I felt we did a good job with the Phillies and going after those guys, especially the big 3, kind of that same approach. Certainly a different profile of hitter, but I think that's the same approach.
For Bryce, with a team like this, a catcher who's missed a little bit of time with a hand injury, he's coming back now. How do you guys, can you take advantage on the base pass a little bit? You going to test them, be aggressive early in the series, or just kind of be yourselves?
I think just being ourselves is a big factor of why we're here. And so, we'll talk about that in the meetings and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're just going to play our game that we know how to play. And, yeah.
Go to the middle of the second row here.
I guess for any one of you guys, this series inevitably is going to be billed as David versus Goliath. Do you think it's fair to be, the best team in baseball and kind of still be considered the underdog, or how do you view yourselves in the scope of this series?
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the narrative all year long. So it's not really anything new. Since opening day, that's kind of been the idea. But I think we really just worry about ourselves, and that's why we've kind of been able to click throughout the entire year. Is just it's not really about who's on the other side; it's about us. Obviously, the Dodgers have a really good team over there, but it's no different this series.
Go to Adam in the second row.
Chad, how has your outlook on your role on this team changed in the last 24 hours? And who did you hear from after your performance last night?
I just think it's more of just a bulldog mentality. Just going out there, being able to execute pitches and get outs and get back in the dugout. But
I mean, I've heard from a lot of people I still haven't even got back to. But yeah, just Bulldog mentality for sure.
Go to Bob in the front row on the right.
Even though a different round, more expectations, but in a way, can you play more free because there was so much pressure last round to finally end that playoff drought?
I think at the end of the day, you just gotta. It's like wins and losses all throughout the season. We'd all say, you just move on and you got to worry about winning tonight. I think that kind of goes into this series is you forget about what happened yesterday and you go on and try to win tonight. Try to win every pitch. We got a good locker room who believes in themselves, and that's the most important thing. And so going into tomorrow's game, just worried about tomorrow's game, and not thinking about yesterday or the next day, just thinking about playing the game and winning every pitch.
Stay in the front row, Jesse.
Chad, it used to be hitting 97 or 98 on the radar gun was noteworthy. Now it's like you look around your bullpen, it's triple digits everywhere. What's that like to see, whether it be Jacob or Trevor, just it's 100 from all these guys, Ashby as well.
Yeah, honestly, it caught me off guard the first time I saw it. But I just think it just goes with just, putting the work in the weight room, just doing what everyone's asked of, and myself. But yeah, I mean, the average fastball is 96 now. So I think the whole year I was probably 3 to 4, and then kind of just made a transition to, just letting it eat, for 3, 4, 5 outs.
Come over to the left side, Kurt.
For Chad, when some guys go to the bullpen, we see them kind of simplify the mix, 1-2 pitches. You've been able to keep working everything in, four seam, cutter, sinker, slider, all that stuff. Is kind of just take me through the thought process on wanting to keep the mix diverse instead of just going like cutter, cutter, cutter.
I think it's just more of, you don't want to just feed fastballs. So I've been able to add the curveball or slurve or whatever it's called, just to keep them off of the heaters. So yeah, I mean, going it, we get our little note card and just attack where the weaknesses are.
Go to Todd and then Jack, both in the third row on the right.
Chad, we talked about it a little last night after the game, but what do you think you learned about yourself this year with the up and down and kind of the struggles you went through and then getting back and getting a role on this team and pitching as well as you have been?
I think it's just more of just not riding a roller coaster and staying even keel, and whatever happens that day happens. At the end of the day, you're trying to be the best version of yourself, and that's what I'm able to do every day.
Chad, after pitching as a starter for most of the year, you pitched 4 times in one series here out of the bullpen. What's the adjustment been like for you physically, just the increased frequency of the outings here lately?
I think it's just understanding that it's all hands on deck, and just being able to be ready, taking care of the body, making sure that, we're eating the right things, we're seeing the training staff to be ready for these games. But I'm honestly ready for anything, because like yesterday, it was just win or go home. And then this series is going to be another version of that with, I think it's 2 off 3 in a row. So just being ready and, yeah.
Could stay in that third row on the end.
Caleb, how does the relationships you guys have in the clubhouse, the tight-knit, translate to what goes on the field?
I think it's huge. I think it's been a big separator for us. Obviously, I don't know what's going on in other clubhouses, but I think it's just that chemistry that you have in the clubhouse builds that trust on the field. There's something about, especially these playoff games, you just feel like the person at the plate's going to come through, and you feel like the dude on the mound is going to get the job done. And I think that stems from the chemistry we have, in the clubhouse. We're all really great friends. So it's funny because they talk about this power of friendship, but I think to a certain extent it's a real thing because you definitely see it in the clubhouse. It just builds that trust on the field.
Go to the far right in the second row, John.
Caleb, your shirt says built for fall. Those of us who observe would say you're also built for the Brewers. Did you, just because you're, hustle, you do all the little things, did you sense that when you were traded over here that this was a really good spot for you to develop?
Yeah, I mean, right away I looked at, I knew they had a really good season the year before, and definitely did a little bit of studying on, who my teammates were going to be, and it did look like it was a lot of guys who had a similar skill set to what I brought to the table, which was really exciting for me because I knew I was going to learn a ton from them, and it was going to help me grow my skill set even more, especially with this coaching staff really valuing what I kind of bring to the table has only helped me get better at the things I was already good at, I think.
Sophia, first row on the far right.
For Caleb and for Chad, just how do you guys process getting this opportunity as rookies, and just how, guys like Bryce and the veteran guys can help you guys through this, and how they've picked you guys up at different times during the season?
Yeah, I think just seeing the way everyone still goes about, the day-to-day and the postseason really helps because they're treating it the same as they did throughout the regular season. So that kind of helps you settle into the moment a little bit more. And I think when you put everything in perspective, it can get overwhelming because it's a really cool experience that we get to have as rookies. So I think just staying in the moment and, all the vets, tell you it's the same game. I think that kind of helps you just stay in the moment. And again, it's pitch to pitch every time we're on the field. So I think that definitely helps with that.
Yeah, I mean, I went up to Miz and before game 2, kind of knew that we both were going to get in the game, and just said, like, hey, not a lot of guys like us get this opportunity our first year in the big leagues. So just, go out there with everything you have and just attack the zone. I think just having a lot of veteran leadership on the pitching side anyways has been really helpful with Woodruff, Peralta, and Quintana. So I think that goes a long way throughout the whole season. And, I've gotten really close with those guys too. So I try to get close with hitters. It kind of segregates, I feel like. But because you got the pitchers on the one side, you got the hitters on the other side. But, yeah, I mean, this team's built for success. So
Come back to the left side, Kurt.
For Caleb, a whole group of the country of baseball fans, and actually probably the whole world, is going to get exposed to more of Murph in this series. If you could, to the best of your ability, describe what it's like to play for the person that Murph is and the character he is.
Yeah, I think that, the word that comes to my mind is just free. Like, playing for Murph allows you to be free because he wants you to be who you are. And there's a really good combination of he's holding you to a certain standard, that he's going to make you play a certain style of baseball that he thinks is the right way, but he also wants you to be yourself and play your game. And he believes in every single person individually and believes in us as a team. And I think we definitely feel that in the clubhouse when, your leader, the guy that's, at the head of the table, is the right person and believes in all of us. It takes a lot of pressure off of us, I think.
Come back to Jesse in the front.
Bryce, a lot's going to be made externally of, low payroll versus high payroll, average Joes versus Hollywood and all. Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy that kind of narrative, especially being, you know, the lower payroll team and everything?
I don't know if I could say I enjoy it. Like, we have a good team. It doesn't necessarily always matter. At some point, maybe, but you know, it's the belief in each other, the belief in yourselves that is what gotten us here. It's not us looking at the payroll or making excuses for it. Like, this is what we got. This is who we are. So, I don't know. I don't look too much into it because I believe and trust in every guy in the locker room, no matter how much money they're making. And that's why we're here. You know, we got a good group of guys, the power of friendship, as people say, and that's, like he said, it's a real thing. We got a good group of guys who believe in themselves and they go out there and do what they do best, and that's kind of all you can really ask for them. And yeah, it's been a great time. It's been really fun.
I will take two more back up in the third row, Todd and then Jack.
Bryce, I was wondering, as a really good defender like you are, you could speak to the progress that Caleb has made at third base this year.
Yeah. It's the work. I mean, every day he's out there taking extra ground balls during batting practice. You know, that kind of speaks for the type of player he is. He's putting the work in, and doing stuff like that helps you defensively. It's made him a better defender, and you know, helps you maybe read the right hops or stuff like that. And so it's all the work you put in is what you get out of it. And he's done a phenomenal job. And yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to play with him.
Jack.
Bryce, the results hadn't necessarily been there for you early last series until that home run you hit last night. An at-bat like that, to get a breaking ball away and stay on it and go 400-plus feet to center, is that the kind of at-bat that you walk away from thinking that things feel like they're clicking again and you're in a good spot?
Yeah, I felt good. I felt good the whole series. It's just hitting a little underneath the ball. But again, it's like you just got to move on. You can't dwell on it. You got to go next at bat. I mean, it's you try to do that all season, but especially in the postseason. I mean, you got to play all the outs. You got to go back out on defense and play all the outs. So I knew I was on it, just hitting a little bit, and I wanted to be aggressive that at bat, and I got the pitch to do it on. And yeah, but I didn't feel like, it wasn't like I was like, oh man, I don't feel right. Like, no, I felt fine. I felt good. Just to click off, and then yeah.
Murph, why do you do this?
It makes the room happy. You know what I mean? It's a happy room, except for Mike. Is Mike even here anymore? Mike's up there. He gets pissed, and I kind of like that part too. We don't have a real question. Heyman's got juice. The guy's got juice. Give him.
I got a question. Your team handled the Dodgers 6 games to nothing in the regular season. I don't suppose your team is the type to get overconfident, though, but I'll ask you.
Yeah, I mean, we're not overconfident, that's for sure. Dodgers are a powerhouse. What can you say? You know, you don't see many commercials in the United States, Canada, Japan, anywhere across the world, and you don't have Dodgers in it because they have the star power, and they're great players. I happen to think that Mookie Betts is one of the most underrated stars. I say underrated, that's kind of crazy, right? But I don't think Mookie Betts gets the credit. Freddie Freeman's like my favorite player in the game. He's ruined Brewers history many times, but I still love him. I think he's a terrific player and even more terrific person. Ohtani, you know, one of the all-time greats in only, I don't know how many years he's played, but he's one of the all-time greats. But I think Mookie Betts is, what he's doing, transitioning back to the infield and playing shortstop on, America's team. Like, are you kidding me? And doing it so well. I mean, his performance this year is far the most underrated. If you're watching baseball and value to a team, that dude is